Life can change in an instant, and the Frankford family of Carlinville, Illinois knows that firsthand. This is 19-month-old Braylee, who is now full of energy. But a year ago, she was near death. Her stomach swollen from fluid buildup because her liver wasn't working. Braylee's ordeal begins shortly after birth at 2 months old.
She had a little bit of yellow in her eyes, so the doctor said that, the jaundice was prolonged, it was sticking around, so they wanted to do further testing.
Turns out Braylee didn't have a gallbladder, so doctors had to connect her intestine directly to the liver so the bile could drain. But Braylee continued to get sicker. Her color was getting worse. This is a photo from the day Braylee was rushed to Children's Hospital.
They said, she's too sick. She won't leave this hospital until after she has a transplant.
Doctors put Braylee at the top of the transplant list. They waited, but no liver became available. She had so much fluid on her abdomen she could barely breathe.
When your liver is failing at that stage, it's really hard to know how much time they have to live before they can get a liver transplant. And that's some of the time the difficult thing that we run into when we're trying to decide whether or not to go ahead with a living donor or to wait for a cadaveric donor.
Doctors couldn't wait any longer. Braylee's father prepared to donate part of his liver.
She wasn't going to get a new liver, whether it was from me or from a donor. I mean, she was going to die.
As Justin was about to be rolled into the operating room to have part of his liver removed, doctors got the call.
I was just laying there on the bed, and we just figured, this was going to happen, and obviously I was nervous a little bit. They come in and they're like, "We got a donor." So yeah, it was down to the wire.
When she walked around the corner, I was getting ready to hand her Braylee just to, go in for the transplant from Dad, and she had the huge, big grin on her face, and she's like, "Justin's getting ready to come over and be with you. You don't have to do this alone. You actually got a deceased donor."
Doctors ended up saving 2 lives that day.
But when one of the recipients is an infant, and then we have an adult recipient, we can split that liver and transplant 2 recipients.
The day after surgery, Braylee's color had already improved. Now, 1 year later, Braylee is completely healthy. The only sign of her ordeal is the scar on her stomach that she's happy to show off.
Oh, look at that belly. It looks so good. What do you think?
All done.
Braylee may never remember the ordeal she's been through when she grows up, but for now, she can look back on how far she's come. Mandy Murphy, Fox 2 News.
Now, organ rejection is more prevalent in children, but it usually happens in the early days, and Braylee is past that.